talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuffing things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Not about talking about it, it's about more so showing with your actions. So that's what it is, and at the end of the day, it starts with this game right here, and this forget everything from the past. It's more so about this week, and this week it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, and obviously we're tied right now, so it's a big matchup, but at the end of the day, it's still the game of football, and we just have to go out and play our brand of football, and if we do that, we'll like our chances.
You know, I think when Roquan was speaking, the thing that clicked in my head that I started thinking about is, you know, talk is cheap, man. How you play will speak way louder than your words, and I think if you can't get up for this one, you know, every game you play in the NFL is very meaningful, but if you can't get up for this one, I think that shows something about your character. I think that shows something about your will, and honestly, I think that just shows if you are a Raven or you're not a Raven. I think how we come out this game, how we prepare this week, will kind of do echoes not only for this game, but for the rest of the season, because we're basically in playoff football right now. So it's kind of, you know, it is, you know, they say there's no game, a must-win game. This is definitely a must-win game.
It's basically
Roquan Smith and Marlon Humphrey there. That's from BaltimoreRavens.com, as they both spoke to the media yesterday. Thank you to them. And it is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. I don't think I'm worried about whether or not the Ravens are going to be up for this game on Sunday. I don't think that concerns me whatsoever. It's just, to me, a question of whether or not they're going to win. And to their point, like we don't like, and I brought this up with Dan Graziano yesterday, we don't like using the words must win until, like, mathematically it is must win. Maybe it's not that we don't like using it. We like throwing out anything. We like throwing out games in week 4 as being must win. But then we're supposed to back off of that and say, no, it's not must win until, you know, it's an elimination type of game. And this is not an elimination game. If the Ravens were to lose to the Steelers on Sunday, they'd be 6-7, but they'd still very much be alive. They'd be a game back with another game to be played against the Steelers. But the actual math and the reality of what faces them, I think it's fair to call it a must-win. I think it's fair to say you lose this game, you're in trouble. We're going to talk a lot about the Ravens coming up this morning. Obviously, the news yesterday of Mark Andrews getting a contract extension and the reaction, what that means for Isaiah Likely, what that means for the Ravens. We'll discuss that a little bit later on. We're going to talk hoops this morning with our friend Patrick Stevens, the Washington Post. We'll make some picks, all of that on the way on a Thursday edition of the program. But we begin today with someone who I know would rather be playing a football game this weekend. And it's a bummer that it didn't work out that way, that there's a game to be played tomorrow night. But there's a massive game to be played right here in Baltimore 1 week from Saturday for a Navy team that, boy, did they finish strong. Boy, did they do an unbelievable job of bouncing back from a tough stretch to get 2 big wins down the stretch this season. He is Navy linebacker, senior Jaxson Campbell, and he is with us this morning here on GCR. Jaxson, it's Glenn here in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Man, can you take me back, right? Like, you guys go through this tough stretch. You lose to North Texas the way that you do. We all know what happened out at Notre Dame. And there were a lot of people that were willing to say, all right, well, you know, we saw what happened when this team started to face really good teams. And maybe they just weren't meant to be or something like that. What did you guys do internally? How did you handle that tough stretch and not let it overwhelm you in order to finish the way that you guys did with incredible wins over South Florida and Memphis?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's a big credit to our coaching staff and our senior leadership. When we were going through that tough time, obviously November was tough. We had a lot of big time games, and throughout the entire process, whether it was a loss or a win, we kind of stayed steady throughout it all. We knew the type of team that we had in the building, and this is a resilient group. It's a group that we can get after it on offense and defense. And this season has been a lot of fun. And so even though we kind of took a little bit of a dip, we knew what we had, and we knew we were just going to end with wins in the back end.
And it worked out that way. Do you have to have a conversation, the disappointment, right, of it just not working out, that you guys are playing tomorrow night?
I'm fired up. I would be remiss if I didn't say I was a little pissed off.
Of course, right?
The part that I really don't understand, now that I have a voice, I'm gonna vent for you real quick.
By all means.
But I don't understand, as a service academy, we have one less game because we play the Army Navy game so late. Mm-hmm. So do they expect us to just completely go undefeated? If you look at our games, I'm going to vouch for Navy football real quick. We lost to we didn't play our best game against North Texas. They're in the conference championship, and then we're a 3-way tie, but we're third, even though Tulane loses pretty handily to UTSA. But the monkey is off our back. It is what it is. We can only control what we can control, and you're definitely going to get a fired up bunch playing against Army. So I'm just excited to get back on the field. Ideally, I'd want to be playing Friday, but it is what it is.
I mean, what we're saying is that they still want to call. And
yeah, we're ready. So we're ready, basically, if they want to sneak us in. So
yeah, do you have to have the conversation? Are guys dealing with the disappointment of that? I would assume that Army is like you don't have to worry about a letdown when we're talking about Army, but do you have to, as a leader, as a senior, talk to the guys, and as frustrated, as pissed off as you guys, as you point out, might be about not playing, do you have to say, like, okay, we got to move on from that immediately and get focused for the biggest game of the year?
Yeah, no doubt. I think you can definitely feel those emotions for sure because they do matter. But by this point in the week, we're done licking our wounds. We're moving on to Army. We're all competitors, and so we'd all want to be playing, but we're fired up. We're trying to scheme Army and play the best game that we can play.
I appreciate that. Jaxson Campbell is with us here on GCR. Jaxson, for you, this is like smell the roses time, right? Like this is the last run. This is the way that it works. What has this meant to you? What all of these things? Senior Day a couple weeks ago, playing Air Force for the last time earlier this year, and now knowing this is going to be the last time against Army. Like, what have these moments meant to you this year going through them?
Man, it's meant the world. I'm so grateful. Just being a senior, you can kind of reflect. And just even going to the Naval Academy itself, God's given me just a great opportunity to be able to learn from so many great leaders of this nation are here in Annapolis. And just to be able to go to such a prestigious school, have the opportunity to serve after playing football is something that, quite honestly, I don't think I really knew the value of coming in here as a freshman. So now being a senior and having a little bit more maturity, I'm just so grateful to have gone here, played football, and have had a team had such success this season. It's been awesome.
That part of it, right? Because you went through the dip too, right? Like you went through the tough times in your Navy career. What does it mean to you? I know that you guys would have liked to have capitalized and made it to the college football playoff, but to have been on the other side of it and to now be leaving the program, I guess, the proverbial better than you found it, right? Like, What does that part of this mean to you as you come to the end of your Navy career?
It means everything, especially because, like you said, I've seen both sides. I've been with guys and who have been teary-eyed and crying in the locker room after a 5-7 season, after a loss to Army, and you feel gutted. It's awful. It's what drives you through the off seasons, and it's a credit to not only our senior class but the senior class before us. In 2024, we kind of decided we wanted to change the narrative. At that point, we had never beaten Army, we'd never beaten Air Force, and so we took on specifically that off season with a different mindset, and they kind of got the ball rolling, and it was just our duty to keep the standard and just keep winning.
It's incredible to see what you guys have been able to do and what that now sets for the next group of guys, right? Like to take that forward and to move on from there. Jaxson, the Army thing you bring up like a year ago, right? And getting the monkey off your back. But now you know that there's a group on the other side that they want to pay it back, that like they've been thinking about it and stewing on it. How much do you like? I think obviously you guys are probably going to be favorites going into the game, the whole thing, but do you have to have those conversations with the younger guys? Like you can't be complicit. You can't take anything for granted because this is Army that we're talking about.
Yeah, something, especially here in Annapolis, that I'm thankful for is we're always worried about ourselves first. We play a nameless, faceless opponent each and every week. And I know it's cliche, but we truly are trying to go 1-0. Whether if we were playing South Florida, or if we're playing Memphis, or if we're playing Army, we're trying to go 1-0. And we know that Army is a big game, and we know that there are going to be a lot of eyes watching us during that game. But having that consistency and that constant reminder of we're just going to go 1-0, we're not really worried about that type of stuff.
I appreciate that. The uniforms, like, dude, they couldn't be more clean, right? Like, that's got to be the cleanest uniform I've ever seen, man. Like, they look incredible.
Yeah, our equipment manager kills it. He does this thing every year. I can't believe they get better and better every year.
It's unreal, right? And like it's so difficult because every year we see the uniforms like, oh my God, that's the greatest uniform I've ever seen. And then a year later, somehow you're like, okay, sure. Like, look at those helmets.
I know they're very detailed. Like there's a big story behind it too. So like every unique thing on the helmet is a big time detail.
Is that the type of thing like are you interested in that? Like when they tell you those stories of like, hey, here's what this part means, are you super into learning the history and all of those details?
Yes, I think it's important, especially like I said, like as I reflect and as I get like older and maybe more mature, I realize like it is a big deal, and I'm not just wearing a helmet. There's a lot of heritage, and you get a lot of people who will reach out to you before the game just saying they're rooting for you, or specifically we have like different patches that we wear too. So it is a big deal, and people are going to be watching all over the world.
What is the significance of the patch for you?
The significance of my patch is I got selected after graduation to fly in the Marine Corps.
Awesome.
So I got an aviation patch from a Marine division that one of my mentors gave me. So that's a big time meaning for me.
Man, that's really cool. Who can you tell us who it is?
Yeah, it's Captain Jones. He's our director of player development here, and he's been a mentor to me. So he gave me his Marine aviation patch from his last command. Wow. So that's what I'll be wearing.
Wow, man, that's awesome. That gives me goosebumps, dude. That's really cool. Why, like, when did you know that you wanted to fly? Like, when did that, like, come into the picture for you? What made you want to go that route?
I would be remiss if I didn't thank my fiance. I thought I was always like, I didn't think I was smart enough to fly.
Wow.
And she kind of always she's going to fly for the Navy, and I'm flying for the Marine Corps. So she kind of pushed me to at least, we have to take a test to qualify. It's the ASTB. And so I took it flippantly, not thinking I'd really do much with it. And to my surprise, I passed. And then I kind of researched a little bit more, and it started to interest me. So
Okay, wait a second. I feel like I would be nervous as hell. So my grandfather was a Navy pilot, right? Like, so I always had like a thought maybe that would be a direction that I want to go. I ultimately did not. I don't want to steal any valor or anything like that here. Like, was there any nervousness to it? Like, are you the type of person that like, hey man, it's the similar adrenaline as like playing football, playing sports, is the idea of getting in a
yeah,
cockpit?
no, it really is.
Yeah.
I did a summer training this past summer, and they teach you in 3 weeks to execute a solo flight. And so
3 weeks.
there's a lot of similarities between football and flying. Like, you'd be surprised whether it's the details and the walkthroughs and all that type of stuff. But yeah, the adrenaline rush from flying is pretty awesome.
Man, that's cool. That is so cool. First of all, we should say thank you for that, for the fact that you are going to serve that way. That is an awesome thing, man, and that's such a cool feeling. Jaxson, do you get as emotional as the rest of us do on the day of Army Navy? Like, do you? I know you got a football game to play. Like, you got to worry about your assignments and all those things. But for the rest of us, like it's overwhelming. I took my wife for the first time a few years ago. And she started like getting teary-eyed, and she looked over at me, and I'm just weeping, like looking at all of it. Do you have those moments in these games where like the meaning of it hits you the way that it hits us jamokes, like us normies?
I definitely do. I try to, in a way, get them out either before the game or after the game, just because there's a laser type focus when I'm playing. But you gotta have your pilot light on, as Coach Brown likes to say. Like, it's always on, but you can't exhaust yourself with all the emotion, because there is a lot of it, especially for this specific game. And so I'll definitely get emotional like after this big win we got coming up.
Yeah.
But before, I'm kind of just Steven, and just kind of like trying to get to the next play, getting my eyes on my visual key. I'm so focused, I can't really pay attention. Really.
No, I completely understand that, right? Like, you have to worry about the things that directly in front of you. That's the stuff that you have to think about. But I do appreciate that that's real to you as well. I do appreciate it a great deal. Jaxson, for people that don't know your path, right, from Tennessee, and you didn't have a lot of high level offers. Was Navy just for you, like the opportunity to play high level football? Did you know that you had any interest in service at all? Did you have to convince yourself that you'd be interested in serving? Like, what? And from where you were to where you are now, like, what has the entire experience meant?
Well, I definitely didn't have to convince myself, but I will say, once I got the offer from Navy, it was my biggest offer. So that played a really big factor. Since I was a kid, I wanted to play big time football.
Yeah.
And knowing that the Naval Academy plays Notre Dame every year and plays in the American Conference, it was easy to persuade me to go to the Naval Academy. And then after more research, I mean, my parents loved it from the jump. They knew and had heard about the Naval Academy and how prestigious it was. And just throughout my entire career here, whether it be coming in as a quarterback and playing as a freshman, as a wide receiver, and then switching to defense and having coaches change and all that stuff. I think this place has definitely developed me into a man, and I've formed some of the best relationships in my life with some of the guys on the team, some of the coaches that we have. So as I reflect, I'm super grateful to have come here, and especially being recruited in COVID, and we didn't really know where the world was at that time. I'm thankful and really see how it really all does work for good.
I think this is the $1 million question. You mentioned obviously your history as a quarterback, right? Like, now it's coming to an end. This is going to be end of the road, and you are going to be playing on the same field as like Lamar Jackson next week. Do you maybe like put an elbow in, like, hey, could I get a trick play? Could I get like maybe one snap here before it's all said and done? Like,
I've been asking for a minute now. We'll see.
Maybe the bowl game. Maybe that's the better
Maybe.
time to do that if you're going to do something like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
That would be really cool. Jaxson Campbell, are you on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere that folks can be giving you a follow?
I'm on Instagram. I deleted Twitter after I committed here. I kind of use Twitter only for just recruiting. But yeah, I'm on Instagram.
And where can people be giving you a follow? What's the handle?
It's Campbell _Jackson.
Campbell _Jackson. Give him a follow there. Jaxson, an amazing career that you've put together, dude. And I wish you were playing tomorrow night. And again, if anybody's watching, still available. Still, like if there's like a flu bug that runs through one of the teams, like tap in. They'll get out there. But we will be rooting like hell for you guys next Saturday. Can't wait to see you here in Baltimore and everything that you do. Appreciate you taking the time for us this morning, man. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's Jaxson Campbell, Navy linebacker, with us this morning here on GCR. Appreciate him taking the time. And again, 1 week from Saturday, Army-Navy here in Baltimore. I'm going. I hadn't been the last couple of years, and that broke my heart. Because it is I said a million times, it's my favorite sporting event of the year. It's like when we use terms like bucket list, this is the eternal, if somehow you've not been to an Army-Navy game, go to an Army-Navy game. And when I say that, like, I weep, I'm not kidding. I can't even remember what my first Army-Navy game was. But, like, you look at all of it, and it's a lot. Let me spend a minute here because I don't know when else we're going to have time to just throw in a segment. I guess we need to discuss Mark Andrews. We're also going to do an episode of Rita and Glenn that you'll be able to see today, and we discuss it more at length there. I'm not sure why there would be any particularly strong reaction to the Mark Andrews extension at all. I don't think this is a game changer for the Ravens. I certainly don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's business. And it's not an overwhelming number that the Ravens paid Mark Andrews.
They needed to have a tight end on the roster.
Like
for next year.
That's the reality of it. And so there was a lot of weird in response to this, and part of that is just because like Twitter just allows everyone to be weird. Like that's just the nature of how Twitter works. Is like our weirdest comes out. But I'm befuddled by the idea of reacting negatively to a 3-year, $39 million deal for Mark Andrews. That's not an overwhelming price to pay for a good football player. And the only things that I was going back and forth with some folks yesterday. A couple people were trying to tell me that they think that this year has shown that Mark Andrews is in decline. And I have no idea where that's coming from. He literally just reached the fastest speed we've ever seen him reach in his career. 3 weeks ago.
Slowing down towards the end of that run.
Okay. Like he was just running over 20 miles an hour 3 weeks ago. So I think you're basing your opinion that he's declining on his production. In which case, have you seen the rest of the Ravens offense? And what I would tell you is there a chance? I guess there's a chance that Mark Andrews declines over the next 3 years, but he's not being paid top dollar. I'm befuddled by why we would be, this now puts him, he's not even in the top 5 in an offense that's broken, and I'd like to think will be better. There's the list of tight ends that puts is that, I don't think that number's correct.
Is it not updated? Is that
George Kittle, Trey McBride, T.J. Hawkinson. Travis Kelce's name for some reason isn't on that list.
Oh, that is weird.
I don't know why that's the case. Oh, maybe that's because it's projecting the next year.
Gotcha.
Okay, that
Is
might be
Kelsey not under contract next year?
might be the
Okay.
case. Might be the reason why that's that might be the answer. And by the way, other guys are going to get paid too. So I'm just, the reaction to it is strange to me. It's odd. It's an odd reaction to what to me is, as Griffin said, it's just business. And it does speak to the bigger all of us, and not all of us, but we had collectively, as people who follow and discuss the Baltimore Ravens, been of the belief that the Ravens were going to transition from Mark Andrews being the primary tight end of this team into Isaiah Likely being the primary tight end for this team. And so I think some of the reaction that you see is because either A, it's hard to acknowledge that you were wrong, or B, you have the opinion that somehow the Ravens have screwed this up. Now, I don't know where that would come from. It has not been a very good season for Isaiah Likely, and that's a complicated conversation. Why that is, I don't know. And the Ravens, we have reason to believe, did approach Isaiah Likely to try to get a deal done. And it just hasn't worked out to this point. And now at the moment, it's hard to envision paying really big money for Isaiah Likely when it hasn't been going well. If you could get Isaiah Likely at this price, I'm going to guess the Ravens would have done that. But the price that he wants is more than that, and he hasn't looked like that type of player. So, to the point, you need to have a tight end. You can't go into next year with no tight ends. And I still think it's plausible that Charlie Kolar ends up. I mean, maybe Charlie Kolar is the next Jake Oliver who, like, we wake up one day and we're like, he got paid how much? Maybe that's the case.
Josh Oliver.
What did I say, Jake Oliver? Who is Jake Oliver?
Not Jamie Oliver.
No. I don't know who Jake Oliver would be. You're right. It's definitely Josh Oliver. I have no idea who that is. Maybe that's the case. But it's maybe still plausible that Charlie Kolar would be back. I can't even say with certainty that, there might still be a team, because NFL teams have a lot of cap money to spend. There might very well still be a team that looks at Isaiah Likely and still is willing to pay him as a star. But if there isn't, maybe there's a world where Isaiah Likely comes back for a year, a prove-it type of one-year deal. I don't know. But I do understand wanting to do the business of, we need to have a tight end moving forward. And this is checking a box. And not really anything other than checking a box. It's just getting a deal done. And maybe some of the angst that's come out is still related to you've just never forgiven Mark Andrews for a bad day in Buffalo last January. And I get it. It was a really bad day in Buffalo last January. But it also doesn't change the reality of who Mark Andrews has been as a football player for the majority of his career. So that's all I got for you. And also, he's got a heck of a relationship with Lamar Jackson, too. They are incredibly close. So I think a lot of us were writing off Mark Andrews' future in Baltimore far too quickly, given some of those factors. Everything you need to know about high school sports you can find at countysports.zone. Championships get underway in Annapolis tonight at the MPSSA football finals. 6 of them. Starting tonight through Saturday, find breakdowns of all of those games. countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Every Thursday, we talk college basketball with our friend, Mr. Discourse himself, D1S Course. From the Washington Post and Blue Ribbon, he is Patrick Stevens, and he's back with us this morning here on GCR. Patrick, good morning, my friend. How are you?
I'm all right. How are you doing today?
I'm all right. It's been a wild week, a lot going on. I guess let's try to sift through some of it. We can start with Maryland. I don't know how much we take from Wagner. You and I talked last before the Alabama game. That went about the way that you expected it was going to go. Now they dip into Big Ten play on Saturday. Is there any reason to think that results will be any better for Maryland starting this Saturday against Iowa?
Well, like when the net had its first ranking
Favorite tweet
release
of the week
the other day, right? And technically, based on that first ranking,
big upset.
that Tuesday night Maryland over Wagner was a net upset.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Wagner was 2 spots ahead of them.
Yeah.
Not anymore, obviously. I think the same issues that you're staring at with Maryland are they're not waved away by beating Wagner by 26 points or whatever. When they lost that Alabama game by 33 following the 39-point loss to Gonzaga, it was the first time Maryland had lost back-to-back games by 33 points since the last 2 games of the 1943-44 season against Navy and Army. So, you have teams that are able to score on these guys, like good teams. And I think the top-end games in the Big Ten are probably going to go about the same way as they did out in Vegas for Maryland. Is it a team that, can win 7 games or something like that in the conference and avoid the first day of the conference tournament? Yeah, I think that's not an unreasonable goal if they can, clearly, try to force their way to the line a ton. I mean, you look the other night, 45 free throw attempts against Wagner, and that's kind of who they are at this point. But expecting to use this team in the same sentence as the words NCAA tournament, is really, really a stretch.
I was gonna, I guess. So they lost to Gonzaga by 40. Gonzaga lost to Michigan by 40. I know the transitive property isn't real, but are we certain they're not going to lose to Michigan by 80? Like, are we sure?
I don't know if there's enough time for them to lose to Michigan by 80. But it's hard to lose by 80 in a 40-minute game.
Yeah.
I mean, to get out. But on paper, that is not an appetizing matchup.
No, does not look good at all. Towson doing a bit where they scored some points last night, huh?
So I saw the team they played last night, Cornell, a night earlier at George Mason. So there's a couple things in play here. One is that Cornell is not very big, but they have shooters on the floor at all times, and they basically are happy to just trade baskets with you. It was also Cornell's 3rd game in 4 days.
Yeah.
So they, them going 6 of 19 from 3, they hit 23s against Bucknell on Sunday.
Okay.
So,
that's just what they do. That's just there.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Okay. So a little bit of that, I credit Towson's defense. It's funny. I asked Tony Skinn after the game Tuesday out in Fairfax, you guys gave up 13 threes to these guys, but do you kind of almost look at that like all right, whatever, right? Coaches are never happy or anything. He wasn't quite going to go that far. But if you're Towson, you probably feel pretty darn good about doing essentially a very similar thing to what Mason did, which was play a close first half and then just shoot the lights out in the second half and go from there. I mean, you look at that second half last night. Towson shot 75.8% from the field. So I think that for them, that's a good, solid victory following up on that trip to Florida. They just haven't had too many home games to really kind of show off or anything. But Tyler Tejada had a great game with 26 points. A good result for Towson. I think Cornell's probably the 2nd or 3rd best team in the Ivy League behind Yale, and there's a couple other teams that certainly have a chance to be up at that top tier. But I think that is a good, relatively comparable opponent for them to go defeat, especially with the work that they were able to do on the defensive end, even if it was a Cornell team that probably just didn't have it.
I know UMBC never led or anything like that, but I would assume that being as competitive as they were again against Georgetown last night is just one more piece of evidence we can file into the encouraging side of things, that this start for them is probably more encouraging than discouraging going towards conference play.
Yeah, I think if you're UMBC, what you really wish you could do is throw out about 4 minutes early in the second half, where Georgetown went on a 17-0 run.
Yeah.
Because it went from 8 at halftime down to 4 and then out to 21. And I know the Georgetown folks were not happy that what was a 21-point lead with less than 8 minutes to go got whittled down to 8 at one point. So I think both teams could probably look at that and say, gosh, you wish the defense was a little bit better there. But if you're UMBC, you beat Delaware State over the weekend. You do this, they go to Bucknell on Saturday, a team that has not been as good as it was last season. And clearly, if nothing else, it's obvious that UMBC can score. So I think they're an interesting team heading into America East play. I think certainly in better shape right now than they were the last few seasons. And when you kind of look around that league, there's certainly a lot of teams struggling. I mean, they're the only team in the America East that has a winning record at the moment at 5-3. Vermont's 5-5. So I think at minimum, if you're UMBC, you feel like you can be a top 2 or 3 team in your conference, and that's going to give you a shot if that's how things ultimately play themselves out here in January and February.
Anything else on the local front that's worth discussion?
I'm going to mention, even though they lost last night, I saw Loyola and Coppin on Sunday, and I thought one of the interesting things to come out of that game, Emmett Adair, the freshman for Loyola, who was sick earlier in the season, he put 29 on the board against Coppin, and it was a really sort of stealthy 29. It's hard to score 29 points kind of quietly, but he just hit a few threes and had some really, technically and fundamentally sound plays, just knocking the ball off the backboard and in. Didn't play great last night, had only 3 points in 22 minutes, but I do think that his return for them, he's been back now, this is now 5 games, that probably raises the Greyhound ceiling a little bit. Also worth mentioning with their 2 victories last week against Coppin and Washington College. First time that Loyola had scored 95 points in back-to-back games since 1989.
How about that? Patrick Stevens is with us here on GCR. Patrick, just how good is Michigan?
Well, they're certainly good enough to plow through everybody that they ran into out in Vegas, right? Like, I mean, you hang 102 on Auburn, you hang 101 on Gonzaga. Oh, and you beat San Diego State by 42, 40, 2 TOO.
Right.
It does kind of make you wonder, like, how did Wake Forest take those guys to overtime?
It's unreal, right? And like TCU battled them too.
Well, TCU at least came out and won a couple games out in San Diego.
Yeah, okay.
Weekend.
All right.
They beat Florida and they beat Wisconsin out there. So, for TCU, the outlier performance is that opener against New Orleans. But for Wake, they got some work to do. As for Michigan, they're playing excellent defense. They're huge. You almost feel like you're looking at one of those Leonard Hamilton Florida State teams out there when they roll out guys like Lindeborg and Mara and all those guys. So they are really scary, and inevitably something will pop up and somebody will get them or whatever. But they're playing really, really well right now, and they get 2 home games before they take on Maryland. They get Rutgers on Saturday. And then old friend Kevin Willard goes out to Ann Arbor as Villanova heads out there as well.
I know the SEC ultimately won the whatever you call the thing now that they do at the ACC, but I guess the marquee matchups in there, certainly a much better year for the ACC than it was a year ago.
Well,
yeah.
7-9 looks a lot better than 2-14, right?
Yeah.
So, and you go through that, and Duke obviously won its game against Florida. Carolina won at Kentucky. Virginia blasted Texas. Mississippi Miami handled Mississippi. So, there's certainly some good ones. And then there's the Syracuse over Tennessee result that I don't think anybody saw coming. So, clearly, there's a couple teams at the bottom of the ACC this year that are just not very good, but in Boston College and Georgia Tech. But if you have an 18-team league, I bet I can find two bad teams in just about any of them. Even last year's SEC, at the bottom, South Carolina and LSU really weren't that great. So, I think if you're the ACC's top teams, you probably have a little bit more wiggle room based on how your non-conference performance has gone. There's still teams like Georgia Tech and BC that you don't want to find yourself losing to. But it's certainly a much more encouraging start to the season if you're the ACC. And filling last year's ACC role is none other than the Big East, which is basically, kind of Connecticut in the Duke role of, okay, well, we're going to go out and get some good wins in non-conference play. If the rest of you guys could get as many as combined as we have, that would be swell. So that's kind of an early thing to watch is, can Connecticut nail down a number one seed, even if the Big East doesn't accomplish all that much with the rest of its non-conference play.
Not a lot of quality wins to be had in conference play. Obviously, UConn going to Kansas this week and getting that win. Anything else on the national front that jumped out at you over the course of the last 8 days?
I mean, you finish up in Vegas. One more thought on that Vegas event, right? Like Iowa State went undefeated out there and finished 5th. So how about we get a bracket, or 2 or 4 for that event next year?
That is really weird. That is really weird.
So
you gotta...
well, Iowa State at Purdue, I think, is a game worth paying attention to this Saturday. That should be a fun one. Iowa State 8-0 ran the table out in Vegas. And Purdue's also 8-0. They just handled Rutgers the other day in their Big Ten opener and have also beaten Texas Tech and Alabama in the early season.
Let's play our game. Can Patrick Stevens name the MLB teams that this particular player has played for or managed? And we begin with a manager, and this should be fairly routine for you. 3 teams. There is one more that he played for in 1965 if you really want to show off. But 3 teams managed by a World Series champion. The great Dallas Green is the first name on this list.
All right. Well, Dallas Green was a manager for the Phillies, and he was a manager for the Mets for sure.
Yes.
Now, I'm struggling here.
Yeah, this was a...
So the reason I'm struggling is that I think, and I think he was the GM of the Cubs at one point, but I think he managed the Yankees as part of the 80s cycle.
The insanity of the 19... Yes, that is correct. He was the manager of the Yankees in 1989, very briefly. I'm trying to see. He was with the Cubs. I just want to make sure that he was the GM. Yeah, I believe you are correct about that. But he did manage the Yankees in 1989. He also was with the Washington Senators at one point in his career.
Okay.
Next name, someone who I believe it's over for now. I don't know if there's someone who's officially retired or not, but hasn't played since 2023. 5 teams, an All-Star once, a World Series champion once, and a Gold Glove Award winner once. A.J. Pollock is the next name on the list.
Okay, so he was definitely in Arizona,
of course.
and he was definitely with the Dodgers.
Yep, that knocks out the bulk.
That knocks out the bulk. Yes. I mean, it's really his rattling around at the end.
Oh, it fell off a cliff. There is no question.
It definitely did. Was he in San Diego for a second?
Not San Diego, no.
How about Oakland?
Oh, you're dancing all over.
And San Francisco?
San Francisco is actually where he wrapped up in 2023. Okay. The others were the White Sox and the Mariners were the other two.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap it up, knock it out, easy one. 3 teams for a former Cy Young winner and a 3-time All-Star, Pat Henkin.
Pat Henkin, Toronto, Baltimore, and St. Louis.
There you go. What's the schedule look like this week?
DC doubleheader on Saturday, catching Navy and Air Force in their first matchup in 20 years.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Sunday down in Annapolis. And then UMBC has undefeated, I think they're still undefeated, Buffalo in on Tuesday.
That's an early tip time,
late
too,
afternoon.
right? Yeah. It's like
yes. They have a men's-women's doubleheader that night.
Okay.
So the men go at 5 and the women go at 8. So,
very good. At Discourse, D1S Course. That's how you follow him on Twitter or Blue Sky, Washington Post, Blue Ribbon. Patrick Stevens, always appreciate you, sir. Thank you just so much. We'll talk again next Thursday.
Awesome, Glenn. Take care.
Patrick Stevens with us here on GCR as he is every week to talk some college hoops. Today's show also brought to you by, well, maybe not brought to you, but a reminder that Project Game Day returns this Sunday. Following Ravens Steelers, head over to PressBoxOnline.com/GameDay. You can chat with us, myself, Rita, KZ, Stecca, Griffin, and former Ravens linebacker Tyus Bowser will be with you. It's all brought to you by Game Day Men's Health, as well as 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org, the Costas Inn, and Live Casino and Hotel. Come hang out with us this Sunday after Baltimore-Pittsburgh. How will that game go? We'll discuss that when we make our picks. Our buddy Ken Zalis joins us next. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack. Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, CostasInn.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Get in the game with Volo Sports. With over 15 sports to choose from, join a league or grab a Volo membership for discounted play, free daily pickups, fitness classes, and exclusive events. But the best part? A portion of every league fee helps the Volo Kids Foundation provide free sports to over 5,000 kids across Baltimore City each year. Don't miss out. Early pricing for the winter season ends December 12th. Final registration deadline is January 15th. Sign up now at volosports.com/Baltimore.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Don Marcus profiles new Maryland Athletic Director Jim Smith, breaking down the challenge he faces in his new role and the unique background he brings to the job. Also inside, Brandon Schwartzberg takes an in-depth look at Orioles outfielder Dylan Beavers. And we meet college basketball players from all the programs around the state before the season gets underway. Press Box is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region. And starting this month, you can find us at Baltimore area High's Dairy Store locations. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners, but only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million, only at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
I'm glad to be here. They had some stuff on me right when I got there, and I tried to work through it and thought I fixed it with my old mechanics and setup. And once you're out there in the game, you're not really thinking about that kind of stuff, so your old habits tend to creep back in. And it wasn't until I switched my posture and switched my hands that I think it really started to click. And obviously it was kind of a learning curve and an adjustment those first couple outings, trying to get used to my hand swing there because it was so new and I pitched the same way, for most of my career. So, I think I got that ironed out, and I think that'll be something that'll help me, throughout the rest of my career. I don't know if there's just one thing we could really put our finger on, but, I think, being behind in counts and then throwing a fastball when a hitter's looking for it obviously doesn't help. And, these guys at this level are really good, and, they show that on a daily basis, and, just got to be better at getting ahead. And, I wasn't as good when I was in New York at getting ahead as I had been with St. Louis this year and in years past. So, just working on getting ahead and, making better pitches with it, honestly. It's what it boils down to, and not being so predictable. Yeah, being a starter.
That's Ryan Helsley, courtesy of MLB.com. He met with Orioles reporters yesterday in a Zoom call and says he believes he has solved his pitch tipping issues.
Yes.
You pray that's the case, because if it is, Ryan Helsley obviously was incredibly good right until he showed up in New York last year. So if they've got a better version of Ryan Helsley, that goes a long, long way for the Orioles. We will see if that proves to be the case or not. But there he was from that Zoom call yesterday. A couple other things I wanted to deal with before we make our picks. First of all, there was obviously good news on the injury front for the Ravens yesterday. As you're not going to believe it, it was a Wednesday, and Lamar Jackson practiced. He practiced. Like, Lamar Jackson, that guy, he practiced on a Wednesday for the Baltimore Ravens. That's, right? Like, I feel like Nikki Glazer talking about Burt Kreischer's joke. Shirts are supposed to stay on. Lamar Jackson was a limited participant, but he was a limited participant. There's a couple other interesting names on that list. One is Nate Wiggins, who we were all very worried about after he left the game last Thursday. The fact that he was practicing on Wednesday would suggest to you that he should be good to go for the Steelers on Sunday.
Definitely need him to cover 2018 Pro Bowler
Adam Thielen, no doubt, right? Like, you got to have your top guy out there for that. But that is very good news because, again, in the moment, that looked like it might be very bad for the Baltimore Ravens. So that's good news. And then two other names that you see on that list, two guys who returned to the practice field this week, are Tavius Robinson and Ardarius Washington. Tavius Robinson we haven't seen for some time. Ardarius Washington we haven't seen all year. Is it possible that either of those guys could, play this week? John Harbaugh addressed that yesterday.
Not a chance Tavius could play this week. Probably not, I would say.
Okay. We swear he did.
Yeah. That's not what I thought that was going to sound like. I don't know what that happened there. Do we want to try it again, or are we worried about the quality of the video?
I want to try it again.
Okay. Nervous moments here. Let's see what happens.
Not a chance Tavius could play this week. Probably not, I would say. I mean, I think we'd be allowed to do it, but I'm not planning on doing that right now. There is a chance Ardarius could play, actually, this week. So, again, I wouldn't say it's a probability, but I'd say it's a possibility.
So that's interesting. As he says not a probability, and typically guys don't get back to the practice field for the first time and then play that week. But it's interesting that John Harbaugh's ruling it out for Tavius Robinson, but not ruling it out for Ardarius Washington. I know
most guys aren't Ardarius Washington.
That's a great point. I know that we're always, we roll our eyes about everything that John Harbaugh says and does. I understand that, but it is weird that he would specifically say this guy definitely can't, but this guy could, just for the sake of playing poker. That's just a weird answer. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a weird answer if that's how you're playing poker. If you're playing poker, what you would probably say is, yeah, we're not really sure yet.
How do you think you would do if you played poker against John Harbaugh?
Me against John Harbaugh? I don't know. I have a poker problem. My poker problem
As
is...
in, you're really good at it? Or
No. I can be fine at it. I get bored.
Oh, okay.
We used to, when I worked in Phoenix, we did 8 to midnight. Remember, we were supposed to be, they hired us to chase younger listeners. And so our job, it did, oh my God, we killed. Okay. We cleaned up. So they always wanted us to push the envelope. They wanted us to do – so they suggested we host a Thursday night midnight poker game with listeners, like that we'd make a prize. Like this week you could come in and play poker with us after the show on Thursday nights at midnight. And so we still had another show to do the next night. Like I still had to go to work. And I was also like I was the liaison to the radio station because when you do the 8 to midnight shift, you're not in at a time that other people are in. So I was supposed to come in late afternoon so that like salespeople would see me and program folks would see me. So I still had to go to the office the next day. And so inevitably we'd start playing poker. You know, you say it's at midnight. You don't actually start playing until like 12:30. You get a few beers, some pizza, all that sort of stuff. And then you get to about 1:15, and I'd start to realize I don't have it in me to keep playing poker for another. And I would just, like, recklessly go all in. Like, recklessly on nothing. Yeah. Every now and then, everybody like, all right, go ahead. And I'd be like, damn it. I want it out. I want off this ride.
You can't just get up or
No, that was not the way these poker games would work. And so I have
everybody's like, wow, Glenn Clark just sucks it.
And that's the thing. Like when I hear people talk about like playing these all-day poker things, like we were there at Live Casino for one of those all-day poker, and I'm like, I can't imagine. Like there's a game to watch. I want to go do something. I can't be here. So I just can't live the way that they live. That's for other folks. It's not for your boy. What is for me, and I need you to get in on today, all right? I got to start taking this seriously, and I got to start busting the whip. We got to fill our bowl pick'em contest. We're doing it again this year, 50-50, half the pot to Helping Up Mission, half the pot to the winner. Charity bowl pick'em. Spare me all of your bull S. Spare me the, I just don't really like college football. This is bowl season. We don't know who's playing in the games. We don't know who the coaches are in the games. We don't know why Liberty might give a rat's ass and why UConn doesn't. We have no effing idea. Spare me. Spare me.
UConn won't care this year.
Why?
Who's
their
coach?
Who's their coach?
Somebody. Dan Orlovsky, maybe.
Maybe that. And by the way, that's also part of bowl season. Every now and then, you find a goofy scenario where a team doesn't have a coach, so they just let some random alum coach the team for a week.
Eli Manning.
And he doesn't care.
Coaching Ole Miss.
Yeah. He's just like, whatever. We'll run the annexation of Puerto Rico this week because he doesn't give a rat's ass. He's not a coach.
And then like Glenn's poker strategy, it works. And
every now and then
they win.
Stop it. Spare me. This is for Helping Up Mission. Spare me. Get in. I want to hear it. $20. Half the pot to the winner, half the pot to Helping Up. Here's what you need to do. You need to Venmo, Glenn-Clark. You need to PayPal, Glenn Clark 180, or you need to Cash App, Glenn Clark Radio. And I'm coming after you. I'm going to start naming names because the games start next Saturday. And I would love to get 50 people on this thing so we collect $500 for Helping Up. That would be great if we could do that. But you got to start getting in. All right? Right now, I think it's me and Brian Powell. I think that's what we got so far.
I'll be in.
Do I know that, Griffin?
Why wouldn't I be? I always win.
That's true. I always send the money to you. So, all right, that's fine. You're in too. We got to get in, fill this thing up, and please save December 15th. We're working on trying to do something.
I just texted PFF Sean, so momentarily I'm
all
sure
right.
his Venmo will be in as well.
All right, good. So then we'll have 4 of us.
Yeah.
All right. And by the way, when you get in, just tell me that you got in. I'll see it, but if like somehow I can't tell what your name is, like somehow, just tell me that you got in, and I will send you the link so that you can sign up for the bowl pick'em. Cool? Thank you. I'm going to be – this is the nice version of this, by the way.
Yeah, very sweet.
When we get the next Wednesday, I'm going to call you names. Be prepared. You know who you are. Spare me. Good morning, Ken Zalis. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah. What, did you do something to your wrist, pal?
Oh, yeah. It's been like that for a while.
What'd you do?
I lost a fight with a leaf blower.
Oh, you know what? I did. We did hear that story. Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay.
That's come up Old man Zalis.
Yep.
Just another malady for old man Zalis.
Just,
we're
is
lucky.
what it is.
We're lucky he can still put on his pants at
I
this
know.
point.
This computer thing's gonna at some point confuse me.
Oh boy. All right, here's where we're at. James Revere. It's a little bit closer at the top. Not a lot after he had a 4-5 week, but a little bit closer. He's 3 games in front of Griffin, 4 games in front of Andrew Stecca. And remember, if Andrew Stecca wins, he gets to quit. So it's very exciting for Andrew Stecca. Myself and John and Little Rock are both 5 games back at 63 and 60. Jeremy Kahn, John Proctor, both over 500, 6 games off the pace. And then Ryan Shell, 7 games back. Joe Serpico and Ken Zalis living high on the hog, not the power bottom anymore. They're both 8 games back. Our power bottoms at the moment tied Kyle Ottenheimer and Paul Valley, the ex-producers, struggling, both 10 games off the pace, 2 games up in the race for last place. This is our last week where we can do 3. I guess the bowl season will provide us the opportunity to do 3 college football games again. We won't be able to do it next week. There'll only be 1 college
we want to do the
football
Celebration Bowl.
No, we're not going to do
Jimmy
the
Kimmel
no,
LA
we're
Bowl.
Not, it's not
Can't wait for the North Texas
we're
State.
not. Yes, we're not doing. Hey,
North
Texas is
good.
really good.
They might be in the
playoff. What are you talking about?
Versus Coastal Carolina Bowl.
Old man Zalis. We might be picking a North Texas game at some point. They could be in the playoff.
They're probably playing Oregon.
But anyway, let's get into it. 3 college games, 6 NFL games. Where are we starting?
We're going to start in Jerry World, Arlington, Texas, the site of the Big 12 Championship. Noon kickoff on Saturday. And the number 4 ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders are laying 12.5 against the number 11 ranked BYU Cougars, who essentially need a win to get in, I guess.
Yeah, they absolutely, at this point, we now know need a win to get in.
They're laying 12.5, Texas Tech is. BYU does have a coach.
They do. They the Crumble Cookies apparently fought off Penn State in the battle of Mormonism and Crumble Cookies. Crumble Cookies came out on top. First of all, thank you. KZ just got into the bowl pick'em. Thank you, pal. Good man. I can always count on you. I don't know. That's a lot of points, isn't it? That's a fair amount of points. Am I a dope for playing the points here? Texas Tech is not a high-powered offense, so you expect it to be a little bit of a lower-scoring game. When these teams got together, it was a 29-7 Texas Tech win. I guess that's the reason why the line is what it is. But that's really the aberration on the BYU schedule. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy for this, but I'm a bite. Give me the points. Give me BYU.
Wow.
Yeah, nobody scores against Texas Tech, including BYU when they played the first time. It's a bunch of points, but if you just, I don't believe in BYU. I don't know what their big win is this year, but I'm gonna
win this
take
year?
They won at Colorado. BYU did.
That's not okay, right? He said big win.
That's hard to go into bowl.
I'm going to take Texas Tech. I just don't think you can score on it.
Unfortunately, I agree with Ken. This game does mean so much more for BYU than it does for Texas Tech. So it makes you feel like you do have to take them. They bring the coach back, and
I feel like an idiot. Texas Tech has started scoring points.
They scored off. I wasn't going to correct you, but I was like, maybe last night, late at night, when I was looking at this,
they have started scoring points. Jesus.
Baron Morton, I don't think was completely healthy in that game, so that was why the defense was so dominant. And now their quarterback is looking more like a quarterback. So I will go ahead and lay the points with Texas
they scored
Tech
48 against UCF, despite the fact that he only threw for 149. I'm not sure that
I think he runs as well, doesn't he?
Does he? Okay.
But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and lay it with Texas Tech here. I don't really want to see BYU get into the playoff.
What, do you hate Mormons? Like, what is
I don't really feel like I'd rather get one of these other one of the other good teams in rather than BYU.
Well, presumably,
I think smoke and mirrors with BYU.
It costs either Notre Dame or Alabama if BYU, or they just leave Texas Tech out. Like, let's be fair.
Texas Tech is good, I think.
I think you're right.
Who was their one loss?
Who was Texas Tech's one loss? That's a good question. I don't remember who it was.
Their one loss
was Arizona State.
Okay, that was when Baron Morton was injured. Yeah. And at Arizona State, that's the kind of game that Kenny Dillingham was going to win that game all day. So I'll take Texas Tech. Most of us are on the Red Raiders, doing the guns here.
Okay.
You are on BYU. Jeremy Kahn, James Revere, and Kyle Ottenheimer.
Oh no!
BYU.
Oh
So you
no!
got the
Very,
polar.
no doubt. And Jeremy's pick doesn't mean anything. It just means the public don't like him. That's it.
To the SEC championship. This one's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, so a pseudo home game, but not really for Georgia. The number 3 ranked Bulldogs taking on the number 9 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Everyone does think Alabama needs this one, but I don't think they're going to penalize Alabama for losing.
But we don't know. Again, the BYU could be the wild card in all of this.
I guess you're right.
If Alabama loses and BYU wins, absolutely could be that Alabama's.
Georgia's laying 2.5 here against the Tide.
Georgia has a troubling history against Alabama, a very troubling history against Alabama, and I get that, Georgia has looked better recently than Alabama did, say, against Auburn. But I feel like you're kind of betting against history when you're getting points. Now, I get it. It's only 2.5 points, so you're sort of picking the game outright. But it is just enough for me, given Alabama's history. I'm going to take Alabama here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like ever picking against Georgia, but they just, in these types of games, it's close. Georgia's having a scoring issue as of late. It's not a dominant Georgia team, so give me Bama.
Again, the logical, as KZ said, the logical pick is almost always Georgia. They're better at everything.
Except that they've won one of their last 11 games against Alabama.
Except for that. I don't know why Kirby Smart struggles and folds against Alabama here.
And it's not even as, it's continued post-Saban.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Kirby Smart just because, they're Georgia. I don't know. You're right, because they don't need this game to get in. Oh my gosh. I'm sticking with Georgia because that's what I said. I don't like waffling. So I guess I'll probably be wrong here. I'm taking Georgia. I'm not alone. We are relatively split here. 7-5 in favor of Alabama. Myself on Georgia, James Revere, Joe Serpico, John Proctor, and Paul Valley on the Georgia Bulldogs. Everyone else on the Tide. In the SEC Championship. Then to the main event, 8 p.m. on Fox, number 1 versus number 2. The Indiana Hoosiers from Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis will be taking on the Ohio State Buckeyes, and Ohio State laying 4.5, taking on Kurt Signetti and the Hoosiers.
That's an interesting line. I was sort of expecting it to be a little bit more. You know what I really thought? I wanted it to be more than a touchdown so that I could say, well, now I have to take Ohio State, right? I wanted to do that bit. Yeah. But it's not. It's a pretty reasonable spread and a fair amount of respect shown to Indiana. You would maybe even argue that they want you to bet Ohio State. I'm still taking Ohio State. Ohio State. I'm not doing it.
I am. I've been doing it all year.
Good for you. Good for you.
I did it when they went to Oregon, and that to me is the most impressive win of any team in the top 5 this year. They can do it on both sides of the ball. Their defense is better than you think they are. I think. Look, we all know how good Ohio State is, but I'm going to ride Indiana one more time.
I'm agreeing with Ken again here. Indiana is definitely the more tested team. Wins at Oregon, wins at Iowa, even the win at Penn State.
You're saying that a win at Iowa counts as
Oregon
being tested?
struggled. Yes, that is a tough play. What's it, Ken? What's the
Ohio State beat Texas. Come on, man.
Yeah, but are we sure Texas is good?
They just beat the only undefeated team that was
Are we sure Texas A&M's good?
Stop it.
Texas A&M's not even playing for a conference championship.
Are you going to pick Indiana? By all means, pick Indiana, but trying to make it seem like Indiana has been more tested than Ohio State.
Ohio State's played Michigan and
Texas.
Yeah, those are the
2. I hear you.
Indiana had to play Maryland at Maryland.
That's a great point. I hadn't thought about that.
I know.
Give me Signetti and the boys to run the hell out of the football. Again, shorten the game, keep it close, get a stop or 2 on defense, and I think they're going to win it. I think they win the Big Ten championship. Give me Indiana outright in this one, so I'm jumping on the bandwagon with KZ finally. And we are pretty split 6-6 here. 6 on Indiana, 6 on the Buckeyes. KZ and I on Indiana. Jeremy Kahn is on the Hoosiers. Proctor, Paul Valley, and Ryan Shell both on Indiana as well. As we head to the NFL tonight, Thursday Night Football, Dallas and Detroit. In Detroit, the Lions are laying 3.
I wonder if we're going to look back at the end of the year and figure out that Kyle lost because he just couldn't ever pick against Michigan or pick Ohio State.
He did pick Ohio State.
Kyle
did
pick
yeah,
Ohio
Kyle
State.
did pick Ohio State. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe
All right.
that was the wake-up call.
All right. Maybe it was.
He's like, wow, maybe they are good.
All right. Tonight. I can't possibly pick against the Cowboys again. I can't do that. I've been getting my ass kicked the last couple of weeks. I might be winning this contest if I had just gotten on board with the Cowboys at some point. There is still this part of me that's like, I know Detroit's better than this, and it's only 3 points, but I'm not picking against the Cowboys again. Cowboys.
So that would be the smart thing to do. And I've been picking the Cowboys a lot, especially since they kind of fixed their defense. By the way, could Jerry be the
no
GM of the year?
Executive of the year?
Stop it.
Could he?
No.
Like,
why not?
I know everybody likes to hate
If they
on
make
him.
the playoffs.
No, so they made the playoffs.
If they make,
but
What is
they win the NFC East.
the 2 trades that they made, and they have all those number 1 picks. I don't know. It's a good. They think he's done a good job.
And
gotta give him credit. I think he's a buffoon most of the time, but you gotta give him credit this year.
No, I'm not there yet. I'm not there
Okay.
yet.
Well, I am giving him credit this year, but Detroit's really good after a loss, and they're banged up, and there's zero reason for the Cowboys not to beat them. But I'm going to take the points at home and take Detroit.
They're laying points, just so you know.
That's what.
Yeah,
I thought it was Dallas -3.
No, they're not going into.
Oh,
Detroit.
well, that changes everything.
Yeah.
And
I read that wrong.
Old man Zalis.
I'm going to still take
Old man Zalis.
Thought Dallas was going into Detroit and laying 3 points.
Well, Detroit looked really bad.
They did not.
Dallas
look
been
great.
on a roll.
No. They still scored 24 points against Green Bay. I like KZ. I have been on the Cowboys, and they've been 5-1 as underdogs this season, so they've been pretty profitable. So it doesn't seem like this would be a good idea to go against them, but I am. The line seems really short. I think it's gonna be a fun game, and even without Amon-Ra, the line shouldn't struggle to put up points, even though the Cowboys defense has been better. But yeah, I'm gonna take them to bounce back here and pick up a big win in probably by like 6. I think that's what I think. I think that's what the line should be. Lions -6. We are split though, 6 on 6. KZ and I on Detroit. Kyle Ottenheimer on the Detroit Lions. Joe Serpico, James Revere, and Jeremy Kahn on the Lions as well. Sunday slate at 1 p.m. On CBS. Battle for the AFC South. Indianapolis Colts taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. And the Colts are going into Jacksonville and laying 1.5.
I don't like either of these teams. I don't trust either of these teams. I don't think the Colts were ever as good as we thought they were. So I don't think they're as bad as we think they are now. I don't think the Jaguars are as good as we think. I think these are 2 mediocre teams. And so how in the ever-loving F do you pick a game between 2 teams that I believe to be mediocre? Somebody would say, well, you pick the team that's getting the points. I would say when the points are this small, you just pick the team that's playing at home. Give me the Jaguars.
So the one thing that recently you've seen with Indy is that people smartened up and say, okay, Daniel Jones having a good year, but we got to stop the run game.
Mm-hmm.
And the one thing that the Jags do well is stop the run game. They're giving up something like 80 yards a game on the ground. Indy doesn't win when Jonathan Taylor doesn't lead them to a win. So I'm going to take Jaguars.
Yeah, the line doesn't make a whole lot of sense here because the Jags have been playing better of late. And so when the line, is stinky like that, it doesn't make sense. It means you should take the Colts, right?
I don't think this is a stinky line. I think this is Vegas telling you they don't think either of these teams are very good.
I'm with you guys, though. I can't do it. Jags are at home, so I will take them getting 1.5 and again, probably winning the game outright here. And most of us are on Jacksonville, so I'm sensing almost a sheep slaughter here.
Now that definitely is different.
3 backers of the Colts: Proctor, Kyle, and Shell on Indianapolis. So potentially the sharps there. Staying in the 1 o'clock window on Fox, the Buffalo Bills will be hosting the resurgent. I mean, they're still 4-8, but the Cincinnati Bengals, getting 5.5. The Bengals are going into Buffalo.
Oh, I hate this. I really hate this. Like this, you think this is a sheep to slaughter moment? Like this is absolutely a sheep to slaughter moment. I'm gonna take the Bengals just because I still think their defense might not be that good, and it just might be that they got 5 turnovers last week, and that makes you think this is the thing that we always have to remind people: turnovers are not predictive. Turnovers are not like the Steelers got 5 turnovers against the Colts. And it wasn't because their defense had suddenly fixed everything. Their defense stinks. They just happened to get 5 turnovers that day against the Colts. I think it's still plausible that
Ravens?
No, what? I said the Steelers got 5 turnovers against the Colts. Okay. I think it's very possible that the Bengals defense will just go right back to being the Bengals defense again. But even if they do, I still think they're going to score a bunch of points. And so I'm going to bite on the 5.5. Give me the Bengals.
Me too. They score points when Joe Burrow is the quarterback.
They were also scoring points with Joe Flacco.
They were, but that kind of leveled off a little bit in the 2 weeks before. Burrow came back. Higgins is going to be back. If 5.5 is too much, I'll take the Bengals.
I agree with everything you guys are saying as well.
Sheep to slaughter.
Yeah,
we're gonna get our ass kicked.
Just the fact that the turnovers are so fluky and that you can't really rely on those, and obviously they turned over the Ravens a ton all of a sudden on Thursday. But Joe Burrow 15-3 as an underdog, getting more than 3 points in his career against the spread. So I mean, again, like I thought I was gonna be strong enough to not take the Bengals. I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and take Joe Burrow and Cincy getting points here. Most of us on the Bengals. There are 4 backers of the Bills. Jeremy Kahn is on Buffalo, Paul Valley on Buffalo, Joe Serpico, and James Revere on the Buffalo Bills. But the bulk of us on the Bengals after seeing what they did to the Ravens last week. Chicago Bears, the 4 o'clock window here, 4:25 on Fox. Chicago Bears going to Green Bay in the battle for the NFC North now, as the Packers, though, laying 6.5 at home against Ben Johnson and the shirtless Chicago Bears.
There's a part of me that really wants to do it, and I really like. I think I'm back on board with the Packers being my Super Bowl favorite in the NFC. I think I'm back on board with it. I definitely think they're winning this game. I definitely think they're better than the Bears. It's just so many points. I'm doing it anyway. Packers. I think this is the day that things start shifting. Packers.
I can't get the Bears-Ravens games out of my mind and think that the Bears are good. So, Packers.
Bears, much like the Cowboys, have kind of just been, I don't know, they're just winning games, they're covering. So I'm going to go ahead and keep riding that train. I don't really have a good reason. I do think the Packers are definitely the better football team, but for whatever reason, these Bears just keep winning games, and I can't really explain it. So I'm just going to go ahead and ride that train until it gets derailed. I will take Chicago here. It looks like most of us 7-5 split in favor of the Bears. So Packers
a lot
minority.
Of points. I get it.
Andrew Stecca on Green Bay. You both on Green Bay. Jeremy Kahn is on Green Bay, as well as John and Little Rock on the Packers. Sunday Night Football. Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Houston Texans. KC laying 3.5, hosting Houston.
I mean, come on, man. What do I do with this? This is where, like, the Texans are supposed to be 3.5-point favorites so you can take the Chiefs. I lamb to slaughter, man. It really is gonna. I can already. I'm smelling 2-7 this week. Texans.
Well, I'm gonna be right there with you then because we're agreeing a lot. They're not good. I don't know. I know we're accustomed to they're going to turn it on and make the playoffs and make a run. Not this team. They're not good. And the Houston defense travels, and they're good. So if I'm getting points, I'll take the Texans.
Yeah, I'm with you guys as well. I'm not sure. I'm not going to go as far to say the Chiefs aren't good. I mean, I guess the record indicates they are not good. But the Texans defense we know is definitely good. So I will take Houston as well in this one. It is a split though, 6-6 here.
Right.
3 of us on Houston. We are joined by James Revere. We are joined by John in Little Rock, and John Proctor. The Johns on Houston as well. Everyone else on Kansas City in Sunday Night Football. And then finally, 1 o'clock right here in Baltimore. The Ravens are they're laying 6 points here against the Steelers, and the winner will be alone atop the AFC North after the end of the game.
What do you do here? Like, what do you do here? The Steelers stink. Like, there is just nothing about the Steelers to like. But do you trust the Ravens to win by 6 points?
Do we trust the Ravens to win?
Absolutely not. I take that back. I think the Ravens are winning this game.
Do we?
I do. I do think the Ravens are winning this game.
The Steelers are bad.
They're really bad, man. They're really bad. In fact, I'm gonna do it.
Wow.
I picked the Bengals last week. This is not a homer pick. Like, I'm gonna take the Ravens. I just think the Steelers are that. I think they're that bad. I think they are. Like, I think this is setting up for, like, it's finally gonna come apart at the seams, and they're not even gonna be able to prop up like the hasn't had a losing record thing anymore.
Bengals might pass them.
I think it's coming apart for the Steelers down the stretch. Spare me the Aaron Rodgers had a birthday party and invited the guys. Like, Aaron Rodgers
He
is
only invited like 6 guys.
Yeah, but he's like, the idea that this is the fault of the receivers. Aaron Rodgers isn't good. They don't have a quarterback.
What he needs to do is keep throwing to those tight ends.
Yeah, maybe.
Especially that one.
Yeah, that's the one. There you go. Yeah, I'm taking the Ravens here.
What did I text you on Sunday, like midway through the football game?
Just they're awful.
I said, can I lock in the Steelers +6 right now
Stop
before it changes?
Stop it.
I did. Go back to your text. I'm not going to change that. You're right. The Steelers aren't good. Here's a newsflash. Neither are the Ravens.
Yeah, but they're not. They're
not.
They're
not. We can all hope that they are, and they're a mediocre football team, just like most of the teams in the AFC. And 6 points against the Steelers in this rivalry, when all these games are always close, is just absolutely insane. Give me the Steelers.
I'm taking the Steelers as well. This line feels preposterous, and I think I think the Ravens are better than the Steelers, but I don't think they're good enough to take advantage of how bad the Steelers are. And all it takes for the Steelers is just one little bounce here, one little bounce there. I just
don't know where that bounce is coming from.
TJ Watt, that's where it's coming from.
He's not been TJ Watt.
Yeah, because he hasn't played the Ravens.
He's always TJ Watt.
That part,
you think he's
that's the
licking
best
his
argument
chops
that you have.
At what this offensive line has been doing?
He's horrible until he sees purple.
Yep. Yeah. I will take the Steelers here. Hopefully, I would love to be wrong again and just continue to pick these Steelers games wrong. So I will take the Steelers getting points as well. And I mean, I think it being in Baltimore is definitely helpful, and it makes me feel.
Yeah, it's to me, this is entirely about the Steelers.
Can we start naming the bad quarterbacks that have taken the Ravens to like 2 and 3 point games in Baltimore for the Steelers?
I understand.
It is.
Do we want to go through that list?
I understand. Those were better Steelers teams. Like Aaron Rodgers with the team that Charlie Batch had,
and better Ravens teams.
Or I don't know. I don't know.
It's a 7-5 split in favor of Pittsburgh. So 5 on the Ravens, Paul Valley, John Proctor.
Not a great group.
Jeremy Kahn, Andrew Stecca, and Glenn Clark.
I thought Andrew always picked against the Ravens. I thought he was.
Who did?
Oh no, it's John and Little Rock.
Yeah, John and Little Rock's on the.
I haven't picked the Ravens in like 6 weeks.
Well, I get that. I understand that part.
Worked out well so far.
I've just been always picking the Steelers.
To be fair,
I feel like
that's fair.
They're the Steelers.
All right, buddy. We'll see you on Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Project Game Day immediately following the game. That's Ken Zalis. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week. That's KZ. God, this is a brutal week, man. There is a lot of ugh.
Well, there's good games. I mean,
yeah, great games. There's 5
really
really important games.
Extremely difficult to pick, and college football.
Yep. Very, very difficult week. We continue here on a Thursday edition of GCR. Stan the Fan Charles, Luke Jackson, and Katie Wu of The Athletic, who wrote a lengthy piece about Ryan Helsley's issues. They got together this week. You can watch that show, facebook.com/PressBoxSports, youtube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan's shows are brought to you by the Costas Inn and the new Costas Inn open in Timonium. We'll come back in, we'll get a tidbit, we'll get tubular, and we'll wind things down for a Thursday edition of GCR. Get in the game with Volo Sports. With over 15 sports to choose from, join a league or grab a Volo membership for discounted play, free daily pickups, fitness classes, and exclusive events. But the best part? A portion of every league fee helps the Volo Kids Foundation provide free sports to over 5,000 kids across Baltimore City each year. Don't miss out. Early pricing for the winter season ends December 12th. Final registration deadline is January 15th. Sign up now at volosports.com/Baltimore.
Get ready to hit the ultimate holiday jackpot at Live Casino during the live action $1 million giveaway. Every Friday through December 26th, we'll draw 25 lucky cash winners, but only one winner each Friday will advance to the final rounds on December 26th, where you could win $1 million in just 3 spins. Come make your million, only at Live Casino. At Erndale Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself? It could be low testosterone. At Game Day Men's Health, we specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Get started today with a free testosterone test and feel the difference. GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Game Day Men's Health, where men reclaim their game.
The weather's getting cooler, so when you and your family are picking out a place to dine, be it lunch or dinner, let's make it nice and easy. Now, with 2 great locations, the Costas Inn remains your #1 destination. Whether you want to get steamed crabs and the full Costas menu out at the original location at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or sample the complete menu minus the steamed crabs at the new location above the grandstand at the Timonium Racetrack. Costas is your place to go. Check out the website, CostasInn.com, for a look at the menu, and if you want to plan that crab feast, call 410-477-1975. The Costas Inn.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Looking for Baltimore's premier waterfront dining experience? Head to Nick's Fish House, located in the Baltimore Peninsula. Enjoy crabs all year long, plus happy hour Monday through Thursday from 3 to 6. Planning a celebration? From rehearsal dinners to corporate crab feasts, Nick's is the spot to make it unforgettable. And the fun doesn't stop there. Live music fills the air every Thursday through Sunday. Check out the full lineup at nicksfishhouse.com. Nick's, it's where Baltimore comes to eat, drink, and play by the water.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here as we're winding down for a Thursday edition of the show. So apparently Darius Slade hates the idea of playing for the Buffalo Bills so much that he's just going to quit. That's what you're saying?
I mean, yeah, I guess so.
Doing the Jair Alexander.
34.
Doing the Jair Alexander bit, apparently, where like he gets picked up by another team and he's like, I don't know, man. Like, I might just not be able to do this any longer. That might be the reality of my situation. So I'm going to have to think about it. Darius Slay apparently not committed yet to actually playing for the Buffalo Bills. We will see how that goes. Today's show has also been brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. Big fight night coming up this Saturday night. UFC 323 with Marab and Pietro or whatever. How many syllables?
How's that the name you're messing up here?
You put extra syllables.
Piotr Jan.
Piotr.
Yeah, Piotr.
Piotr Jan. Sure.
Just call him Peter.
That's what I was going to do, but you told me I was wrong.
Well,
so.
I mean, that's not what it goes by, but yeah.
I mean, I
get
it.
I think he understands that his name has been Americanized. And
there you go. Exceptionalism, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you know, you're in the UFC, dog.
Try Merab's last name again?
Nope.
Okay.
Divalishvili.
That was pretty close, actually.
All
That's
right.
the best you've done.
All right.
Divalishvili. Yeah.
Divalishvili.
Yes.
Divalishvili. Anyway, that's Saturday night. Also Saturday night, Isaac Pitbull Cruz taking on
Isaac Cruz. Yeah, it is. I think that
is it really?
Yeah. But to be fair, I didn't know until the start of this week either.
Shut up.
But it is Isaac Pitbull Cruz
taking on Lamont Roach. We're just gonna go Roach Cruz. That's what we're gonna say moving forward.
And then just like you're gonna do Jan versus
Divalishvili.
Nailed it.
I will have forgotten that by the next time we do this. Those fights. You could pay big pay-per-view prices, but that would make you stupid. With all due respect, that would be a dumb thing to do. Unless those people want to pay to advertise with us, in which case
UFC and ESPN.
Well worth it. No.
Pay-per-view model's the best.
Why would you pay those prices? Take that money. Especially if you happen to be a fan of both, and you're like, I gotta buy both cards. Watch it all right there on the 100-foot media wall at Sports and Social. Inside Live Casino and Hotel. Maybe make a weekend out of it. Get a room. Do something for the old lady. The whole deal. Live Casino and Hotel this weekend for a big fight night inside Sports and Social. Anything that we needed to cover? Oh, yeah, Giannis was going to get traded, so he decided to get hurt.
The Wizards broke him,
Is that what it is?
Well, the Wizards beat him Monday night, and he said, I can't do this anymore. This is ridiculous.
I mean, if I lost to the Wizards, I might not want to show my face for 2 to 4 weeks.
But yeah, so he took a dive last night, that's for sure.
I might be like, I'd check out for a little while. Pride is injured. But everybody was, all of the movement in the last 48 hours have been that, he was going to get dealt. I had heard that, Orlando.
Well, that's what I think this is. I don't think he's injured.
I think that he's legit injured. This is, I don't think you make up a 2 to 4 week injury.
I think it's I don't want to play for you.
I think when you're doing this
is the NFL hamstring.
That's a day-by-day thing that you do, he's questionable for a little while until he gets traded. A 2 to 4 week injury is not something that you do, when you're dealing with this. But
well, why is it not 6 to 8 weeks? Or, I don't know, it's a calf. It's weird.
We will see.
That's why it's the perfect injury.
That's it's the perfect crime.
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah, he can.
You ate her.
He can say, well, in 4 weeks comes up and he's still a buck. He's like,
it's
still a little
son,
tight.
That's the perfect crime.
It's still a little tight.
What'd you do with the body? There's no fight left in you boys. we ate her. You ate her. I was not aware of this Jack Black, Paul Rudd movie that's coming out on Christmas.
Oh, Anaconda?
I was not aware of this. Everybody's raving about it. I knew nothing about it.
Looks pretty good. How did you not know about it?
That's
right. You don't go to movies.
I don't know where people see trailers anymore.
Usually during NFL games.
Maybe I get on streaming. I get different commercials.
Yeah,
I feel like I haven't really seen many.
I guess so. I guess that could be it. I feel like it's definitely on Thanksgiving. I remember getting several.
I have not.
Anaconda
commercials. Nothing about it. So that was news to me this week. Anyway, yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. Giannis. That's it. That's all I had.
Giannis.
Let's do a tidbit. Tidbit is brought to you by the print issue of Press Box, still available for a few days at this point before it makes way for our annual Best of issue celebrating the top people, performances, and moments of 2025 with our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year. So go get this one at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores for free before it's gone.
What was Jesper Parnevik's highest finish at the
at what?
At the Masters.
The Masters? He finished top 5 once.
What did he finish top?
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure it was a T20.
Okay.
At 2001.
I have
that
no
was
clue.
his highest Masters finish.
Good.
Yeah.
You've been spending time on Jesper
No,
Parnevik?
no, that just popped up.
Did
when
you
I
know
was-
who he was
before yesterday? Not
No.
a chance.
He was like
Thought he was an actor at first, maybe. Or
he was this weird, like, he actually got a lot of attention because he would wear these like
I see
silly,
it now, like
silly
the-
hats. But like, and he was a fairly good golfer, like fairly. I want to say he won something of some sort at some point. He never won a major, I know that much. But yeah, famously, he introduced Tiger Woods to his ex-wife because Tiger Woods' ex-wife, I believe, was a nanny for Jesper Parnevik's family, if I remember correctly. I
Tiger
think
Woods.
that's the story.
Oh, she was. She
Yes.
was. Okay.
Yes. Elin, who is also Swedish, like Jesper Parnevik is, I believe was his family's nanny. And that's how Tiger met Elin. And, of course, that's the tangent that Drew went off on, was that it's Jesper Parnevik's fault.
That Tiger fell off.
That Tiger fell off.
Would never had the neck
Because if he had
problems.
just not gotten married,
he would have just focused on golf.
he could have just continued to. I don't want to be there's graphic things that I could say. If you know the story, you know the story.
He could have just kept golfing. Yeah.
Yeah. And doing the other things he was doing.
Golfing.
And having copious amounts of sex
Oh.
with just about every woman in Florida, no matter what time of the month it was.
Well, I mean, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't put a definition on greatness.
That's a great point. Well, I can. He's not.
Well,
He stopped being great.
I mean, he was the greatest golfer of all time. Is he not?
For a while, he was.
Is he not the
I
greatest?
don't know. I mean, like, we all assumed that he was going to take over the majors record, but he didn't. Like, yeah, probably.
You blame it on the sex.
I don't know, man. It all kind of came unraveled. It all came on. It's wild how it happened that way. It's incredible because, yes, like, Tiger Woods is one of the greatest athletes of all time, and he's still a great what if in sports history. Like, somehow both things are true. He went a decade without winning a major. Then he won one more, but just one more.
It was pretty epic.
Yeah, it was cool, but part of that is because of the great what if that was like,
he's back.
He might have won 30.
Yeah.
But wasn't meant to be.
2 players have had 1,200 scrimmage yards and 10 rushing touchdowns in 3 seasons prior to their 24th birthday. 2 players.
Lord, that could not
One
be.
One joined that list this year over the past week.
Joined that prior to their 24th birthday. 1,200 scrimmage yards.
Yes. Most of which are rushing, but yeah,
10 rushing touchdowns in
3 seasons, 3 times before turning 24.
Before turning 24. So one
From
of them,
NFL research.
One of them is Jahmyr Gibbs.
One of them is Jahmyr Gibbs. Joined this exclusive list over the week, or I guess Thursday.
The other was Saquon Barkley.
Not Saquon Barkley. Got to go back a ways.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
So a little bit further back.
A little bit further back. It was. Problem was, guys weren't coming out at quite a younger age. That makes this tougher. It was Chris Johnson.
Not Chris Johnson.
It was
89 to 91.
Marcus Allen? No, he was before that. 89 to 91. Emmitt Smith?
Not Emmitt Smith.
Barry Sanders?
Barry Sanders. Okay. Barry Sanders and Jahmyr Gibbs, the only 2 to do this before turning 24. So, yeah, Lions.
So the Lions just keep drafting 20-year-old running backs
I guess so.
forever.
Yeah,
That's
or 21-year-old running backs. How much Jeremiah Love is that?
Yeah, I don't know. All right, Tubular brought to you by Game Day Men's Health, Owings Mills, Frederick, and Columbia. You know what they've done for me. It's been a legitimate game changer, peptide proteins.
Jeremiah Love is 20.
There you go. There you go. They don't need one, but they should do it anyway. Trade Jahmyr Gibbs for 5 first-round picks and take Jeremiah Love. Anyway, yeah, peptide proteins have been a game changer for me, the way that I feel when I wake up in the morning. You might be low T. Get a free testosterone test. It's free. Just get an answer and then figure it out. It might be that you say, I can manage this, or like hear what they have to offer, but you got no risk by just getting an answer on whether or not you're low T. 443-264-4454 in Owings Mills, 443-266-3505 in Columbia, 240-931-3717 in Frederick, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Here's what's coming up tonight, totally tubular-wise. Of course, Lions-Cowboys from Detroit, 8:15 on Amazon Prime Video. The first of the 6 state title games down in Annapolis. They're all on NFHS Network. This is where you can watch them tonight. The 4A, 3A final, Sherwood and Mervo. And that's about it. There's not a whole lot else. The Wizards play the
Big
Celtics.
West play starts, obviously. Late-night college basketball.
Sure. Wizards-Celtics 7 on Monumental from D.C. That's what I got for you. That's it. Anything non-sports?
We've got a big one on ABC, obviously. Well, Celebrity Family Feud. You got Housemaid, Catch of the Housemaid versus Housewives, Real Housewives.
Okay.
That's the Celebrity Family Feud showdown. I know you're excited. Who are you leaning towards?
We got to go. You got a show to do. I got things to do.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 15. Also on Bravo.
So nothing then?
Season 13 of The Great Christmas Light Fight.
So nothing
At
is
9.
what you're trying to say? There's watch
something
football?
else. Mission Impossible. The new Mission Impossible 8 is now streaming on Paramount+.
I forgot there was a Mission Impossible this year.
MI8.
I forgot
The
that.
Final Reckoning.
That's on Paramount?
Yeah, I should have made you guess the name of the movie.
Would have been here all day. Would have been here all day. That's it?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks today to Jaxson Campbell from Navy. Thanks to Patrick Stevens and Ken Zalis. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the...
Miley Cyrus and Cam Crow will be on Jimmy Kimmel.
Cam Crow? Is that like Cameron Crow's son?
No, it's Cameron Crow.
Oh, Lord.
Well, I call him Cam.
Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Ugh. The greatest... Anyway. Tomorrow, Stan's here.
Yeah, Stan will be here.
Stuff and things?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Well, football stuff.
Yikes. Well, you booked so much for today.
I did, yeah.
All right, there we go.
I got it. Patrick can be a little.
Yeah.
KZ sometimes it's like I can only do.
So nothing then.
Had to juggle it.
Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including the Costas Inn, Volo Sports, Game Day Men's Health, CountySports.zone, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com, Nick's Fish House, Live Casino and Hotel, Maryland, your Baltimore area highest dairy stores, 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Thursday evening. Go nobody. Yeah, go nobody. Duke sucks.